What's up, everybody? My name is Kason, and I am your coach of the Oregon Golducks. This is the PUDL week number 7, and we're going up against Raxos and the Atlanta Mightyenas. We're going to have our hands full. It should be a good battle. Both teams are currently sitting at 3-3 in the standings. Top 10 make the playoffs, and right now we are both right around that edge. So let's take a look at the matchup and see what we can do this week. So first of all, taking a look at the speed tiers right in the middle, those are the numbers you're going to see. Something is going to stand out to me very clearly, and it's that my team in general is just a lot faster than his team. Almost all of my Pokemon outspeed the vast majority of his team. Slitherwing and below are 81 or below speed, and almost all of my Pokemon are 85 or higher. So one thing in this matchup is that I know for the most part I'm going to win the speed war. The other thing to keep in mind here is that he has multiple weathers that he can set up. He could go for Ninetales, he can also go for Abomasnow. So Snow and Sun are on the lookout here, and in terms on our side, we have Rain. So ultimately the question comes down to me is, do I want to play the weather war? Do I want to try and fight over the sun, rain, snow, and all that kind of stuff, or do I want to just ignore it and play my own strategy? The biggest other thing though about his team that I have to be aware of this week is that a ridiculous amount of his Pokemon get priority attack. Both Entei and Suicune get extreme speed, Slitherwing gets first impression, Raging Bolt gets Thunderclap, Brute Bonnet gets Sucker Punch. So there's a ridiculous amount of Pokemon on the other team who can basically cheat the speed system. So even though I said that our speed is much higher, they have ways to get around that. But one thing that we have on our side is Psychic Terrain with Indeedee. I'm going to spoil a little bit ahead. We are going to be bringing her this week, but who else we're going to be bringing? Let's go ahead and check it out. The first Pokemon we're going to be bringing this week is 25th Bam, our Ogerpon Cornerstone. And straight up, his team is really weak to rock attacks. The only Pokemon on his roster that resists rock damage is Donphan, and the thing about Donphan is that he is weak to grass attacks. So Ogerpon Cornerstone is basically a must this week, as she goes absolutely nuts into his roster. In terms of the EV spread this week, we are rocking 80 HP for a little bit of bulk. We are going full attack investment with 252, and for speed, we are doing a Jolly Nature with 176 EVs. This speed investment on Ogerpon makes it so that we outspeed everything on his roster unless it is wearing a Choice Scarf. For the ability, it's obviously Sturdy, as this is the only one we can do, and the same with the item, it is the Cornerstone Mask. With the moveset this week, we are running Ivy Cudgel, which is really great rock stab, Horn Leech for the grass coverage for things like Donphan and Suicune, Swords Dance to allow us to boost up our attack, and U-Turn to allow us to pivot. Originally, I was going to run Spiky Shield this week instead of U-Turn, as it's essentially a protect button that also deals damage to Pokemon when they make contact with you, but the only reason I was going to run that was because Slitherwing could be on the other team, and I basically wanted to try and avoid the first impression attack, which you can only use on the first turn that Pokemon comes out. However, the more and more I thought about it, the more I thought about he might not even run first impression, because I have Indeedee female on the team. I'm going to be setting Psychic Terrain, and he's probably going to be afraid of being able to click that priority attack. And if he does go ahead and click it, I can easily switch into Indeedee and make sure that nobody on my roster takes that damage. So ultimately, I decided to go to U-Turn instead to try and get out of a sticky situation. In about 90% of circumstances this week, I do intend to lead Ogerpon Cornerstone, except for one very specific situation in which I will lead my next Pokemon, Greninja, aka Maverick. So Greninja is essentially the lead in one specific circumstance this week, and that is if he leaves Donphan on the bench and doesn't bring him. I think it's very unlikely that he won't bring Donphan. He's brought him to almost every single battle this season. Donphan has Rapid Spin, which means he can get rid of hazards, and he is, I think, the only hazard removal that he has on his side. He is also, I believe, the only Stealth Rock user, so I think there's a very good chance that Donphan does come, but on the small, minute chance that Donphan doesn't come, I am going to bring Maverick Greninja as the lead, and the set we are running this week is very different than other sets we've ran before. First, taking a look at the EV spreads, we are running a physical attacking set with an Adamant Nature, 252 investment into attack, 56 into HP for a little bit of staying power, and 200 into the speed stat. You're going to notice our max speed is 330, which is the exact same as we did with our Ogerpon. This is so that we are 1 point faster than anything on his team unless they are wearing a choice scarf. For the item, we are going to be running Focus Sash. This will be incredibly useful if he doesn't bring Donphan, as it makes it so that our Greninja will always live 1 hit no matter what. For the ability, we are running Protean this week, which is going to allow us to change our typing based on the first move we use out in battle. The things that make this an incredibly good lead if Donphan doesn't come this week are a couple of different ones. First of all, we have the attack Rock Slide. As I said before with Ogerpon, rock type attacks go absolutely crazy into Raxos' team, as Donphan is the only one who resists it. With the Protean ability, we're going to enhance our damage, we're going to hit pretty hard with it, and the fact that we're faster than basically everything other than stuff that would hold a choice scarf means we even have a chance to flinch opposing Pokemon. We have U-turn for pivot, so if we don't like the matchup we're into, we can easily get out. We also brought Brick Break in case he brings Abomasnow. Abomasnow can very easily set up with the move Aurora Veil, which gives not only Reflect but also Light Screen to his team. Brick Break will break those screens, making it so that we can deal true damage to their team. But the most important thing about Greninja this week and why he is such a good lead for us if Donphan doesn't come, along with the Focus Sash, is that we have the move Spikes. Now originally I was going to use the move Toxic Spikes, as he has no grounded poison Pokemon on his team unless he Terra Poisons Brute Bonnet. However, the more I thought about this, is that if I run regular Spikes, and he does happen to lead Raging Bolt, who is very good into my roster, if I go for Spikes with the Protean ability, not only will I be able to set up a hazard on his side of the field that will deal damage, but it will also turn me into the ground type. This is extremely useful against Raging Bolt, as if he brings Raging Bolt in, he's going to want to click an electric attack into Greninja as he's a water Pokemon. But not so fast. We hit Spikes, we turn into ground, and we will take absolutely no damage. If this is the case and he leads Raging Bolt into our Greninja, there's a very real chance that we could get not only 2, but 3 layers of Spikes up to start this battle. The third Pokemon we're bringing this week, I spoiled it ahead of time, but it is Indeedee, or numero 80, and honestly this is probably the most important Pokemon this week, even though it's not bringing a single damaging move. The reason it's so important this week is it has the ability Psychic Surge. When it comes on the battle, Psychic Terrain is there to stay. Alongside the item, we are running Terrain Extender, which means Psychic Terrain is going to last for 8 turns long in the battle. Psychic Terrain is absolutely crucial for us to beat Raxos' team, as even though his Pokemon are slow, they have a bunch of priority attacks that basically cheat the speed system. With Psychic Terrain out on the battlefield, you cannot use these moves like Sucker Punch, Thunderclap, Extreme Speed, they will not work. So having the Psychic Terrain is really huge for our chances. For EV investment, we went full HP, full defense, and actually a relaxed nature, which makes us actually slower on purpose. And the reason that I want to be slow with Indeedee is mainly because of the one move Baton Pass. Now, what Baton Pass does normally in a lot of Pokemon is you can actually boost your Pokemon's stats, hit Baton Pass, switch out to a different Pokemon, and that Pokemon gets those stat boosts. In our league, you are not allowed to pass stats or substitutes. However, you can do what's called dry passing, which is essentially just clicking Baton Pass and getting the hell out of there. But this is really useful and more important than just hard switching to a regular Pokemon, because oftentimes you can see whether or not they switch a Pokemon, or you might even be able to take a hit and then switch into somebody safely. This is extremely important for our next Pokemon that we are going to go over, as we want to try and take the hit for that Pokemon so that they can come in fully healthy. And that next Pokemon is Miraxis, our Iron Crown. Now, to take advantage of the Psychic Terrain, we are using this Psychic type attacker to try and just mow through Raxos' roster. With the ability Quark Drive and the item Booster Energy, essentially when this Pokemon comes out for the first time, it takes its highest stat and gives it a boost. The boost does go away if we end up switching it out, but essentially we want this thing to come on the field and stay on the field. We want it to basically just try and sweep through the entire roster. The EV investment this week is very specific. As I said, the Booster Energy will boost our highest stat, which in this case is speed. Normally, in most circumstances, the highest stat for this Pokemon is going to be Special Attack. However, with the timid nature and full investment into speed, and only 172 EVs into Special Attack instead of maxing it, we can get it so that speed is our highest stat while also still having a lot of offensive power. This is really important because with the Booster Energy, we will essentially outspeed every single thing on the other side, even if they're choice scarfed, unless it is Ninetales or Entei max speed. I think it's very unlikely that they're going to go max speed and choice scarf on 2 of those Pokemon, which means if this guy comes out, he should be the fastest thing on the field. In terms of our moves that we are going to use, we are running Expanding Force. This is typically 80 base power, but when on Psychic Terrain, which we are going to set up for hopefully 8 turns, it turns into 120 base power. This move hits like an absolute truck, and we also have Tachyon Cutter for coverage, especially for Pokemon like Brute Bonnet, who can basically take 0 damage from that psychic attack. We're also running Substitute and Calm Mind so that if we get into a position against something bulky that can't necessarily hurt us, something like a Suicune, we can basically set up in front of it. But in order to take full advantage of that psychic terrain, we need not just 1 powerhouse, but we need 2. Which brings up Sand Rooster, our HAWLUCHA. It is time to UNLOOSHA the HAWLUCHA, and this guy is ready to pack a punch. So he is running an Adamant Nature with 252 EV investment, along with 232 speed. And again, this is the 3rd time you're seeing it, but we have this guy at 330 overall speed. Again, this is just barely fast enough to outspeed everything on his roster, even if they are max speed investment. For HP, we've just got 24, so just a tiny bit of bulk. I imagine that probably doesn't help much, but basically, we're not trying to take hits on this guy. We basically want this guy to just hit as hard as he possibly can and outspeed everything. And outspeeding things is going to be easy, as he has the ability Unburden and the item Psychic Seed. This is the easiest way to activate this Unburden ability, as once we set up Psychic Terrain with the Indeedee, we bring in HAWLUCHA, the Psychic Seed will immediately go off, giving us a +1 boost to our special defense, and making it so that we are no longer 330 speed, but 660, which is absolutely crazy. In terms of offensive coverage, we really only need 2 moves here. Acrobatics and Close Combat will pretty much get the job done against most of his team here. We've got Swords Dance to boost up an attack, so if we do go up against something that we don't think can basically hit us or kill us in return, we can go for a Swords Dance, get ourselves to +2, and basically allow us to potentially sweep his entire team. We also have Substitute here just in case we are feeling like we are safe and can buy ourselves a turn while we think that he is going to switch into something else. But the main part of having Substitute here, and something I failed to mention on the Iron Crown page, and the same reason. The reason I'm running Substitute on both of these Pokemon is the chance that he runs something like a Brute Bonnet on the other side. Brute Bonnet can use the move Spore, which is 100% accurate and will put my Pokemon to sleep. Now, in draft, we have what's called a sleep clause, which means you can only put one of your enemy Pokemon to sleep. However, if I come in without an attack boost and acrobatics against that Brute Bonnet, especially if he tears into something else, I might not be able to knock it out in one hit. He is going to click Spore back, and in an asleep HAWLUCHA is not a very useful HAWLUCHA. So basically the idea behind this is, if I'm up against Brute Bonnet with either Iron Crown or HAWLUCHA, I will click Sub, as he's very likely to try and click Spore to put them to sleep. I'm going to dodge the Spore with the Substitute, and now I bought myself a free turn to basically enhance my damage with either Swords Dance or the Calm Mind. And last but not least is Turumbar, our Ceruledge. Now, this Pokemon up to this point in the season has probably been our MVP. It's been doing very, very well for us. However, the set we are running this week is different than the last couple weeks that we've done, where we're essentially trying to boost up and sweep. This is slightly different. We do have some setup to make ourselves stronger, but this guy has a very specific purpose. We were originally going to bring Glastrier, one of our Terra Captains. However, the more and more I thought about it, he has 3 fire-type Pokemon on the enemy team, and Ceruledge has the ability Flash Fire. Now, the last 2 weeks I've ran Weak Armor, which is essentially boosting our speed, but the other ability that he has is really, really good as well. Flash Fire makes it so that if we take a fire-type attack from the enemy, not only will we not take any damage from it whatsoever, but we will also boost our fire attacks as long as we stay on the field. This means that if he brings any of those 3 fire-type Pokemon, which just numbers say that he will probably bring at least 1, we can switch into that attack and not only take no damage, but boost ourselves up. Aside from the fact that he has 3 fire-type Pokemon on his team, he also has Abomasnow, who I am very, very concerned about this week. He's probably the Pokemon I'm most concerned about because he can set up that Aurora Veil and essentially nerf my team's damage really drastically. By bringing Turumbar the Ceruledge, one Bitter Blade can easily knock out Abomasnow in one hit. So having this guy, I think, is a bit of an insurance policy versus that. However, the one tech with this guy that I haven't mentioned mentioned yet is the item that we're running, which is Air Balloon. Because we have Archaludon on our roster, even though we're not bringing it this week, if he brings Slitherwing, which I think is likely, he would want to bring Close Combat or Earthquake to deal with the Archaludon. Close Combat does not do any damage to Ceruledge as it's a ghost type. It can't hit us with Flare Blitz because we have Flash Fire, and it can't hit us with Earthquake because we have the Air Balloon. In terms of the strongest attacks that Slitherwing normally carries, it is typically those three and First Impression. Now, First Impression is a really strong bug type attack, and even though we resist the damage, it would still do a decent chunk to us. However, that is where Indeedee comes in with the Psychic Terrain. So my assumption is that if he brings Slitherwing and Psychic Terrain is up, there's probably not any way that Slitherwing can deal damage to us. So if we see Slitherwing on the field, I'm going to bring Ceruledge in basically for a free switch. In terms of our EV spread, we are running 252 into HP to make ourselves very, very bulky, 60 into attack with an Adamant Nature just for a little bit of extra damage, and we are running 196 speed investment. Now this is a really weird EV spread, and it's either going to be really, really good for us or it's just going to completely blow up in my face. Basically what I'm doing is going out on a limb on what I think my opponent would do with their EV spreads. As I showed on one of the previous graphics, I have a ton of Pokemon who are 85 base speed, and he has some Pokemon who are below 85 but above 65, which is where my Pelipper is. If I'm him, the Pokemon who are naturally slower than 85 but faster than Pelipper, I'm very likely going to run just enough speed investment to outspeed a max speed Pelipper. So what this 255 does is it's barely faster than somebody who would just try to barely outspeed the max speed Pelipper. There's always a chance that we get outsped by something because of this investment that I did and I didn't play it safe here. The other part about being 255 is that if we use the move Flame Charge, which gives us a +1 boost to our speed stat, we will be faster than something that would be running a Choice Scarf to outspeed the Greninja. Again, if something on his team is going to run Choice Scarf, it's probably not going to be max speed. It's probably going to be just fast enough to outspeed our fastest Pokemon, which is Greninja. This number right here with a +1 boost will outspeed that person who's just barely trying to speed creep our Greninja. Hopefully that all made sense. In terms of moves that we're bringing this week, we've got the Sword Stance to boost our attack, we've got Flame Charge to boost our speed, Poltergeist for coverage, and Bitter Blade to heal ourselves back up. In general, I'm really excited for the battle this week. I very much thought about bringing Rain, but to be honest, with him having two different weather setters on the field, I really didn't want to have to worry about switching back and forth between weathers. I really think that playing that game against him is a losing strategy for us, as in general, his Pokemon are bulkier than ours, so playing the switch game where both of us switch all the time, I think benefits him. In order to beat him, I think it's much safer for me to go with Psychic Terrain, try and get my fastest Pokemon out there, and basically just blow through his team. So we'll see if it works out, guys, and we're going to be starting this battle shortly. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, guys, we are just about to jump into the battle here. Going up against Rakdos and the Atlanta Mightyenas, and this should be a good one. Week number 7, I'm excited. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Shout out to Rakdos. If you're watching this, I'm going to put in the description below his channel. So if you ever want to see my opponent's point of view, if they upload YouTube videos, I'm always going to put them down in the description. I'm also going to put basically everybody else who has a YouTube channel in the league description down below. So just to let you know. And okay, so taking a look at who he has. So he does not have Donphan, which is super great for us. This basically means that we can lead Greninja. So I know my original plan was to lead Ogerpon, but I think I can lead Greninja here safely. He doesn't have a Araquanid either or Abomasnow. Holy shit, this is actually so good for us, I think. Those are like the 3 Pokemon I was worried about most. So I think I just lead Maverick here. Yeah, there's no reason not to. I'm gonna lock this in. The rest of this order doesn't matter here, and I think I'm good with this. So he's got Brute Bonnet, Ninetales, Slitherwing, Raging Bolt, Entei, Suicune. So he very much is a Sun team this week. I'm honestly stunned that he brought this. This is actually really good for our Ceruledge bring, though, and I'm very glad that I brought him instead of Glastrier, because multiple fire types on the other team. So concerns on the other side. Raging Bolt is really scary, just in general, but I'm hoping that he leads it into Greninja, because it seems like it would be good for him, but honestly, it would be a really good lead for us because we have the Spikes lead, because then he would try and go for either like a Thunderbolt or Discharge Volt Switch, and we're just going to go into a ground type. And he does lead Raging Bolt, so this is actually super good for us. So let me think. So I want to try and take my time this week. Is there anybody else that I want to switch into here? I don't think so. I think I want to just click Spikes. This is kind of why I brought this guy. This is why I brought this lead. So I think I'm just going to click this. So we're going to turn into a ground type. Wait, he goes first. Oh, shit. All right, so that is Choice Scarf. That is Choice Scarf, because there's no possible way he'd be faster than us. So this is good and bad. Okay, so this is why we brought the Focus Sash, just in case. Good and bad here, because we got a layer of spikes up. We live with one hit. I think I just go for another spikes. Here's the thing. We are now a ground type. Because this guy's Choice Scarf, he's locked in. So do I switch to something calling this? There's no way in hell he stays in and does another electric type attack. I could go to Ogerpon here since I already have spikes set up, but I kind of want to just go for a second layer. I think I'm going to do that. All right, so second layer of spikes is going to go up. He is going to switch. I was going to say that would be an insanely big brain call for him if he decided not to swap out, predicting a switch. He goes into Entei. He should take Spike's chip here. He does not, apparently. So this guy's heavy-duty boots. So we get a second layer of spikes up. Hopefully he doesn't run multiple heavy-duty boots this week. All right, I'm between rock sliding and doing a third layer of spikes here. Rock slide should do like 45-ish, probably. It depends on his investment. If he's bulky, it could do way less than that. But him being 100 base speed, he's probably got at least some speed investment because he's going to want to outspeed most of the stuff on my team, all the 85s. So I'm thinking I rock slide here. I already have 2 layers of spikes up. If I get a flinch chance, that could be pretty huge for me. So I think I'm going to go that. Yeah, the smart play might have been doing a third layer of spikes, but I'm hoping to get a flinch. I'm getting good damage. It's only almost 50%. No flinch. Trailblaze actually really sucks. That's a really good play by him. So he's got +1 speed. I'm trying to think. If he's max speed investment... I mean, he outspeeds everything on the team right now. Okay, I need to slow this guy down because if he goes for another Trailblaze, he will outspeed Miraxis after booster energy. I think I have to go Bam here because I need to kill this thing. This sucks because I don't want to take Chip from Bam because I'm going to lose my Sturdy, but I have to swap in here. Yeah, I have to swap in here. I need to kill this thing. I need to Ivy Cudgel. It sucks. He's going to hit me first. I have to pray that he doesn't get a burn. I can't think of the name of the big fire attack he gets, but he's probably going to go for that and try and get a burn. So that's like a 50% chance, I think. So we have to hope no burns here. I don't know what else he would go for unless he predicts me to switch into something else, but I don't see him doing that. He's already got a +1 speed boost. He could potentially just go for another... Like, he's either going to go for the burn attack or he's going to go for a Trailblaze expecting me to switch, but that would be an insanely ballsy call by him. Sacred Fire, that's the name of the attack. I couldn't think of it. So we have Sturdy, so we will always live no matter what. It kind of sucks that we're going to lose it, but maybe we can Horn Leech off the right Pokemon if they switch in. Ogerpon's still going to be good regardless, because we're basically going to outspeed everything on the team other than the Choice Scarf. Oh, he's got Iron Head. Oh, please tell me no flinch. Oh my god. Oh, that is so bad. Wait, guys, that is actually so bad. What do I do here? Ogerpon was supposed to put in a lot of work this week. Shit. Who do I switch to? That is so bad for me. That flinch is terrible. Because now Ogerpon will die right here if I keep him in. I don't know who I can switch into, though. I could try and make a call. If I think he's going to go for a fire attack, I could go into Turambar, but that is insanely ballsy because if he goes for anything else, we lose Air Balloon. And he did bring Slitherwing, which means the Air Balloon Turambar looks so good. If he brings Slitherwing in, it's probably a free switch. Oh my god, what do I do? I'm running out of time. I think I have to switch. I want to keep this guy alive. I gotta go in DED here, I think. Yeah. I'm just going to swap. Oh my god. Did that really not go through? I clicked, dude. Oh my god. This is terrible. This is a rough start, guys. All right, we are down 6-4. I clicked swap in, but apparently there must be a grace period or something. Whatever, I'm switching. This is the swap I tried to do, which sucks because we would have lived in Iron Head, and that is what he went for again, I think. Damn. All right, so I think we have to set up... Okay, I need to take my time. I say that. I took too much time last time. But we can come back from this. So this is a shitty position, but we can still win with the Pokemon we have in the back. We have Miraxis, we have Sandrooster. Turambar is really good on a Slitherwing switch. Oh my god, we have Future Sight. Oh my god, why do we have Future Sight? I have to click Reflect here. Why do we have Future Sight on Iron Crown? That is not good. I'm supposed to have Expanding Force. But we dodge a Stone Edge, which is good. So he was predicting the switch, I'm assuming, into Turambar, the Ceruledge, because I don't know why else he would go Stone Edge there, because it has a chance to miss. That had to have been a call into Turambar. I doubt he goes it twice, but there's no way we switch. And God, I want to go Miraxis here because with Reflect Up, we would live a Sacred Fire. But I can't because I won't be able to kill this thing on the next turn. I don't have Expanding Force. I have freaking... I'm trying to think of what I do here. Because right now what I would do is go Miraxis to go Expanding Force, but I can't because I don't have it. And Tachyon Cutter will not kill at this HP bar. Future Sight takes 2 turns to deal damage. I have to just Baton Pass here. This sucks, man. We take the Sacred Fire. We don't get burned. Baton Pass into... We have to go Sand Rooster here. I would go into Miraxis, but I can't afford it. I have to go Sand Rooster. This is like not at all what I wanted to go on. This is not the plan I wanted, but Future Sight, dude. How did I do that? All right, we're going Tilt Proof. We're not going to tilt. We're going to figure out how to win this. We're down 6-4 without the Psychic type attack for our Psychic Terrain. Iron Crown, we're gonna figure this out. I don't know why I have Future Sight, but I think I have to go Sand Rooster no matter what. This is not according to plan, but it is what it is. And hopefully... Sand Rooster can do enough work and we can bring Turambar in the back. Because the only other option is to go Turambar right here expecting a fire type attack, but I don't think we can risk it. We want to keep the air balloon just in case because that gives us a free switch into Slitherwing. So Sand Rooster comes in and now I need to calc damage from a Sacred Fire to see if this would kill us. So we can live a Sacred Fire because we have Reflect Up. Even with a crit, we should live 1. I believe. I think we have to Swords Dance here. The safe call is clicking Acrobatics. Let me check my stats real quick. Because I think... Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure that I did the right EV spread here. So I think we click Swords Dance. We should live this pretty much no matter what. I don't think we can die to 1 hit. The problem is he's going to go Sacred Fire and he's going to go for a burn. There's a part of me that wants to switch Turambar and go for it, but we already popped our Psychic Seed. Yeah, I can't do this. I'm taking way too much time. I need to go Swords Dance here. So we go Swords Dance. And we have to pray we don't get burned. If we get burned, I think we lose. There's a 50% chance here. Please no burn. No burn. Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go. So now we click Acrobatics. I want to click Swords Dance again, but I can't risk it. Because if he crits or gets a burn, both are really bad for us. We Acrobatics, so we get a kill. So we're down 5-6. But we're in a relatively okay spot. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if we're in an okay spot. We're +2 on Sand Rooster, which is huge. The problem is if he brings Raging Bolt in and he's bulky, I think we're going to lose. If he brings him in, we're going to have to kill in 1 hit, which is Ryuji. That is the Raging Bolt. So we have Spike's Chip. This thing is Choice Scarfed. It does not outspeed us, though. Because of Unburden, we should outspeed every time. We have enough speed investment that we'll outspeed. So if he's bulky, this may not kill. But he's Choice Scarf, which means he's probably not bulky. I have to go for this, and I have to pray this kills. Honestly, even if he's not bulky, this might be a roll. It depends on if he has any investment. Please, please, please. Let's go. Oh, man. That is so huge, dude. That is so huge. This thing is such a problem for my team. Oh, that is so huge that we get that kill. So our Reflect is gone, which is fine. We outspeed everything. Dude, do we just... Like, Suicune, I think, is the only problem. Because we can kill Slitherwing. We can kill... Brute Bonnet, we can kill Ninetales all in 1 hit. So Suicune comes out. If we can get past this thing, Sand Rooster can sweep the entire team. We have to somehow get past this thing. So this thing probably has... I'm sure this thing has Scald, which is probably going to want to go for to try and get a burn. Let me see real quick. I'm trying to view my... How do I do this? Dude, how do I see the Psychic Terrain turns? Am I dumb? How do I find that? All right, I can't remember how to do it, but it's fine. So here's the deal. +2 close combat probably doesn't kill, which is crazy. Which is absolutely crazy that it doesn't. It depends on his investment. If he's offensive, but I don't think he is. So, okay. So if I go close combat, he's going to kill me back with an Ice Beam. But I think he's going to Scald for the burn. I kind of want to go sub here. So here's the deal. I'm going to go sub. If he Scalds, there's a decent chance this does not break our sub. He goes Ice Beam, so it breaks our sub. That sucks. So, in the set that I'm assuming he's probably running, there's no way +2 close combat kills here. But I think the sub is worth the play there, because if he Scalds and the sub doesn't break, then we just win instantly. Because we're allowed to Swords Dance 1 more time. And it depends on his investment. We might have been able to live an Ice Beam then. Maybe that was a mistake. He's bulky, so we might have been able to live an Ice Beam. Maybe I should have just Swords Danced. I probably should have. That was probably a mistake. This guy's probably bulky. I think I have to go for a close combat here. Because now with this health, I just put myself in Ice Beam range for sure to kill. Whether I lose one on close combat or not, I think I click close combat here. I'm going to die to this next hit. If we crit, we win the game. We got to hope for a crit. Yeah, we don't get one. That's fine. I mean, I would honestly feel really bad if we win the game on a crit right there anyway. Now this does feel like a mistake. I don't know. I should have assumed that this thing is not bulky and went for a sword stance, but I honestly thought he was going to scald. I thought he was going to scald to try and get a burn or just to do chip. Like, I don't know if he had Ice Beam. Like, I wasn't sure, so... Alright, we go Miraxis here. This sucks, though. This puts us in such a bad spot. If we hit Expanding Force right now, like, Miraxis would have already basically won the game by this point, I think. Or at least would have gotten to us to a point where Sandrooster could have won the game. But I can't tilt here. I think... So if we go Calm Mind here and get ourselves to +1, we can then substitute and he can't break our sub, I'm pretty sure. Based on the amount of damage that we did to him, I think he's a bulky setup. He shouldn't have enough damage. We're going to Calm Mind here. He's going to go for something. Probably Scald. And then we can substitute. Oh, he goes for Tailwind. Oh, shit. Okay, so... That's a really great play by him. That's a really great play by him. We probably still outspeed this Suicune. Based on the fact that he's leftovers, he probably doesn't have speed investment. So I think I sub here. Because at +1, he shouldn't be able to break it. And I expect that there's a decent chance he could switch into something else because of the Tailwind. He does not switch. If this doesn't break our sub, this is really good. We should be able to stall out the turns of Tailwind here. Mirror Coat. Oh, that is perfect. He gets leftover recovery. That's okay. We have to click Calm Mind again here. We have to click Calm Mind again here. If he switches, this is really good for us. If he goes for an attack, we can sub again. But we have to stall out the turns of Tailwind here. So, because if he switches into something else and we lose sub and they have Tailwind, if he goes for Ninetales, they could kill with a Flamethrower in the sun. Man, this is really scary. Here's the problem. This guy obviously doesn't have Roar because he would have roared us out. My thought is, like, he probably wouldn't bring Roar anyway because he didn't bring Stealth Rocks. You probably only bring Roar if he has that. That honestly was probably a misplay by me by subbing and not even thinking about the fact that he could Roar me, but that is what it is. Ninetales comes in. Sun is here. Hurts by spikes, which is good. The problem is... So we Calm Mind... Okay, now I gotta think. So this was turn 3 of Tailwind. Because he used it, and then we subbed, and then we Calm... I think there's only one turn of Tailwind left. God, I want to view this. I can't remember how to check this, but I'm almost certain this is the last turn of Tailwind. So we are still behind our sub. We're +2. He's going to outspeed. So I think what we do is we let... So he's going to go first. He's going to kill our sub with a Flamethrower, and we sub again. And then next turn we will be faster because the Tailwind will be gone. I want to click Future Sight so bad, but the problem is I don't think I can afford it. At +2, we would live one hit, but we need to get to +3 to have a chance to kill this thing. +2 doesn't do enough to kill this thing, and +3 might. I think we have to click sub again. This is still faster for one more turn. I want to click Future Sight so bad, but he's just going to switch in Brute Bonnet if I do that. I have to sub here. So he goes Flamethrower. This will break our sub. I assume. Yep. Sub is gone. We're going to resub, and I wish I could check it, but I'm 99% sure this is the last turn of Tailwind. Which means we outspeed, which means we should be able to... Okay, Tailwind peters out. So we can get rid of this thing for sure. I don't think we can afford... to Calm Mind again. Can we? To +4? Or no, we're +2. We got to go +3. We have to be +3. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought we were +3. Now we are. We are +3 at this moment. So he kills our sub still, but there's a chance we could kill at +3 here. So Flamethrower is going to break the sub. In the sun, that damage is huge too, man. We could still lose this game in a crit. Based off of what I'm seeing, +3 has a chance to kill if this thing is min bulk, which... Again, at 100 base speed, he probably is a speedy... He's probably a speedy variant. He's probably not bulk. Because he's 100 base. He would want to outspeed this thing, and he would want to be able to knock it out with one hit. I want to get greedy and Calm Mind one more time. But the problem is... No, Psychic Terrain's gone. I can't. I have to Tachyon Cutter. Because if he brings in Brute Bonnet, he's going to Sucker Punch and I'm dead. That was a low roll. That's, oh man. Or he's bulky. I don't know. He could be. That sucks. Please no crit. If he crits, we probably lose. All right, we hang on. Now we Tachyon Cutter again for the kill. Man, this is close. I'm trying not to live in the past, but not having expanding force is absolutely crippling here. I can't believe I made that mistake. If you guys don't know, you can gen Pokemon in this league. You don't have to like breed them and stuff. And I should have double checked my mons after I gen them because I have the wrong move. There's still a chance we could win this game though. I need to stop worrying about that. So he brings out a Catchy, which is Brute Bonnet. How do I win this? So, okay. I'm going to New Indeedee. I have to. Okay, I think we can win this. Okay, so here's my thought. So he's going to Sucker Punch because we're really, really fast. He can't afford to go for Crunch or anything. He has to go for Sucker Punch. I'm going to switch into Indeedee. He won't do any damage. We lose our boost, but that's okay. I have Healing Wish. I can bring back Miraxis if I need back to full health later. He will still outspeed everything other than maybe a max speed Slitherwing. And he just has Slitherwing and Suicune in the back. Sucker Punch misses. Let's go. Okay, so this thing has Sucker Punch. I have to just pray to God that this thing doesn't have Crunch or Payback for that matter. I think I have to click Reflect here. God, let me check. So I could Healing Wish this thing, but I think I need the Reflect. He has both Slitherwing and Brute Bonnet up. He has 2 physical attackers. I think I need the Reflect to diminish physical damage. Suicune I'm not worried about in terms of damage, other than against Turambar. I think I click this. I think we make it so that we live 1 hit from basically anything. I think this is the play. I think I have to click Reflect here. As much as I want a Healing Wish, if this thing has Crunch, I think we outspeed. If we Reflect, maybe we live a Crunch. Please don't have it. If he goes for Spore... Okay, he does go for Spore, so this is great. Because this means Miraxis and Turambar can't be put to sleep. He can only put 1 to sleep at a time. He has shown Sucker Punch and Spore. He probably has Close Combat because we had our Chaladon. Which means he has 1 move. And it's got to be a Grass-type move, dude. I think I have to make this call. I wanted to switch in on Slitherwing, but I think I have to go Turambar here. I think this is my only win con. So with our speed, though, we might be slower than a max speed Slitherwing. So we have to switch in. We have to Flame Charge. That is our only win condition here. We have to switch in here. We have to pray that he doesn't have Crunch. But even the thing is, like, even if he doesn't have, even if he has Crunch, we should live through and Reflect. If he has Payback, that could be bad. But I feel like this guy's got to have a Grass move, right? He has to. Unless he's not running Close Combat and he has Double Dark and a Grass. But I assume he's got a Grass. So what does he Terra into, though? Because if he tears into Poison, we could still be in trouble. It's Terra Grass. Let's go. Oh my god, I think dude, if he doesn't have Payback, I think we won. Somehow. Please tell me you don't have Payback. It's Seed Bomb. So there's 1. So we've seen Seed Bombs for Sucker Punch. That is not much damage. We lose the Air Balloon, which sucks if Slitherwing has Earthquake, but I don't think it matters because I think we're going to be able to one-shot with Spike's Chip with Bitter Blade. So right here, we have to Flame Charge. So we need to get to +1 speed and make sure that we're faster than this Slitherwing. This is the end game, people. Oh my god. If we lose Turambar, though, I think we lose. Because Indeedee's asleep and can't Healing Wish the Miraxis. Ceruledge has been our MVP up to the season. In the season up to this point, we have to pray that he can come through one more time for us here. Dude, my heart is going like crazy right now. I'm trying to clutch up right now because I'm honestly just like so tilted by the fact that we didn't bring Expanding Force. I think this game would have been easy. He switches. This has got to be Suicune. So how much health does this thing have? It's about half. Oh, man. So he gets Spikes damage, though, which is huge. He's lefties, I believe. So Flame Charge is going to make us +1 speed. So we outspeed everything. That did nothing. And he's going to get Leftovers Recovery, which means Bitter Blade is not going to kill. Reflect only mitigates physical damage. That was a great switch by him. That was a fantastic switch. I think we have to Poltergeist. I need to calc this. So here's the deal. If this guy's bulky, it's probably a roll to kill on Poltergeist. But if he's offensive, he could kill us with a Scald. I don't think there's any other option I can go for. I think I have to click Poltergeist, and it's probably a damage roll. honestly. I don't know his exact set, but I think I have to click this. I also need to connect. If I miss this, we lose. Please tell me we hit. Please tell me we kill. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Oh my god. That is... Holy shit. I think we won. I think we won. Brute Bonnet's Terra Grass. I can't check Psychic Terrain turns. I don't know how. Dude, after this fight, I'm looking up how to look this up, because I cannot remember how to check how many turns there are, but we have the Bitter Blade here, which should be a one-hit kill. We have Psychic Terrain up, so this thing is gone no matter what, unless it's insanely bulky. I'm pretty sure this just one-shots. I can't think of any other way this doesn't work out. We have Psychic Terrain. Yeah, we go Bitter Blade. This should one-shot. It does. Oh, man, we have one left. We have Brute Bonnet on the other side. And like I said, so we saw Sucker Punch, we saw Spore, we saw Seed Bomb. We haven't seen the fourth attack. I'm assuming it's probably close combat. If he had Crunch, I think he would have went for it instead of switching to Suicune. Or if he had Payback, I think we win. I think he's probably got close combat. I think he has this Grass attack. I have to just click Bitter Blade, because without the Reflect, it doesn't matter. If he has Crunch or Payback, we die in one hit. So I Bitter Blade, and I just hope. I pray that this kills. It doesn't kill. As long as he doesn't have Crunch, we win. He does not. He has Seed Bomb. Oh my god, dude. Shout out to Raxos. GG. Incredibly close fight, to be honest. And I'm sorry for the commentary here if I'm tilted. Like, I am. Not if. I'm tilted. I'm clicking Bitter Blade again, though. But... dude, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Shout out to Raxos. It was a great game. Honestly, like, by the end of it, I'm really happy we won that, because that did not go at all how I planned. The flinch on Ogerpon just, like, set me off right at the beginning. Ogerpon was such a huge part of our game plan going into this week, and the fact that we didn't have the Expanding Force was just the cherry on top. So the fact that we somehow clutched that up, I'm honestly just, like, so pumped that we won that. So, I mean, shout out to Raxos on the other side. But, yeah, super, super happy we could win that one. All right, guys, I apologize because you're going to see my face twice on the screen here, but I want to do a little bit of post-commentary, so I'm just basically watching my gameplay from before as I go along. But I just wanted to point out a couple of mistakes that I'm looking to try and improve on for the next week. So first and foremost, in this situation, after I do get the flinch on Ogerpon, obviously that's unlucky. At the same time, I got some really good RNG for myself later in the fight. He misses a Stone Edge. We don't get burned, I think, twice on Sacred Fire. And we don't get paralyzed on the discharge from the Raging Bolt. So this spot right here is definitely the #1 mistake I made in this fight. I just took too long on my turns. I gotta be quicker. Even though I'm glad I'm taking the time to think about what I want to do, but I have to be quicker there. In that spot right there, I lost Ogerpon, who was supposed to be a huge carry for my team, because I didn't make a quick enough decision to switch into Numero. Which, in hindsight, like, the decision was 100% should have been Numero there. Ogerpon is such a huge thing. The most important thing about having Numero here in this battle is just setting up the Psychic Terrain, which just switching in does that for me. I should have calced quicker to see how much damage indeed he would have been able to take in this spot, and the fact that I didn't do that and took too long, that was definitely mistake #1. Mistake #2 is really obvious. I mentioned it a couple times throughout the fight, and I'm sorry if it got really repetitive, but I brought Future Sight instead of Expanding Force. #1 lesson I learned today is, damn it, check your sets before you jump into the actual battle, because you can do it on Showdown, but sometimes you prep multiple teams, you prep multiple things, and you accidentally grab the wrong thing. And that's what I did today. And honestly, like, I don't think this fight would have gone as poorly as it did during certain parts if I had just brought the right moveset. So lesson #2 is check your sets. The third mistake that I made in this battle that I wanted to cover was basically the situation where I had Miraxis out on the field. I was +2 behind a substitute against the Ninetales out on the field. And essentially, instead of going for Tachyon Cutter and dealing a chunk of damage, I went for a third Calm Mind. The reason I did this was I knew that I would live a Flamethrower at +3, and also I had a chance to kill in one hit at +3. However, in this spot, I could have Tachyon Cuttered twice. I wouldn't have had a sub, but I would have had more HP at that moment, because only the first attack would have been, the sub would have been killed by the first attack by Ninetales. I would have killed it on the second turn. And then if they bring Brute Bonnet in, which I was concerned about having Sucker Punch, I could easily just hit Substitute at that moment. That not only blocks me from Spore, it also blocks me from Sucker Punch on the other side. So I could basically be sitting with behind a Substitute, at +2 against that Brute Bonnet, instead of coming into the Brute Bonnet being +3 with no sub to protect myself. So that is ultimately the 3 things that I wanted to point out to you guys today. Obviously, you guys watching probably can point out even more, but overall, you know, it is what it is. This fight did not go how I wanted, but I'm extremely excited to get the win and really, really happy. Raxos is a great player, and honestly, it was a great time doing this battle. I really, really enjoyed it. That being said, we joined this league at a 1-2 record. We're now 4-3. I feel pretty good about that. This is my first ever draft league experience, so the fact that we've won 3 out of our first 4 battles, I feel really, really good. Also, I'm not 100% sure, but I think we clinched playoffs with this win. We might have like a 1% chance of not making it, but I'm not entirely sure. But regardless, guys, I really enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week, we have a really tough matchup against one of the top teams, but I'm looking forward to prepping for it and battling. So without further ado, guys, this will be the end of the video. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, hit the like and subscribe down below, and make sure to check out the other coach in this video, Raxos, down in the description, as well as some of the other coaches in PUDL. So until then, have a great day.